Okay, guys, let's take a look at various numerical measures. How do we compute them in Desmos, and also how do we interpret them? Now, before we start, I want to get one thing out of the way, and that is the units of measurement. So if you read the question and they don't really tell you anything about the units, you can assume safely that this data just has no units unless it's obvious. Okay, so if it's something like, for example, travel time, they usually will say minutes, or if it's weight of a box of cereal, they will say ounces or something like that. But if it's like, let's say, exam scores, they may be as percent. But it doesn't look like they have anything here. They just say test anxiety score. So I don't know what the scale is or whatever, but it doesn't look like there are any units. So in this case, we're going to just choose no units because we don't know. I don't think there are any. So this will probably be unitless measure. So everywhere here, I basically have to, which is really annoying, but okay, no units. Okay. So the next thing I do is compute these various measures. Let's compute them first and we'll get to the interpretation. So let's go to the resources. So again, we are going right here on the top right of the page. And then when you click that, you're going to see the Desmos in the sidebar. Again, if you don't see it, make sure that your window is maximized on your computer screen so you can see the whole thing. And that will allow you to open it in a sidebar. And we're going to say, okay, L equals, and let's get the data. So click on the data, highlight it, and copy paste that into Desmos. Okay, so regarding mean, the command is mean. Okay, if you don't remember, go to the keypad, then go to functions. So that would be right here. And then you're going to see various commands right here. So if you forgot mean, median, standard deviation, they're all here. Okay, so but I remember. Okay. Well, you've been doing this for a long time, Professor Lurie, right? Like, okay. Well, anyway, mean is mean of L. Now make sure that this is called L, right? Okay. And so that will go here. Let's go to the median. If you need to round, it says 2 decimal places, just in case. I did not have to round, but you might have to, so please do that. Okay. For the quartile, you also have to specify which one. So this would be quartile L, comma 1. So that's the first quartile. Okay, so that's 9. Third quartile is quartile L, comma 3. So that would be 16. And IQR, which is something that you should also have on your cards, unless you remember it, is the difference between the third and first quartile. So you're just going to take the third quartile first and subtract the first. Make sure that it's a positive answer. So third minus first, not the other way around. So this will be 7. Now, how do we interpret them? So let's go through the interpretations. So as far as the mean goes, this is always average, but it has to be specific to the question, because I have two choices here. Both have average, right? I know that the other ones don't have the word average, so they cannot possibly be right as far as the mean goes. But I need to look at the context. So the context says it's a nursing student in a class, okay? So it's not all medical students, it's the nursing students. So that's why this one is right. Now, as far as the median divides the data in half, 50% below, 50% above. So we will say that 50% of students have anxiety scores less than that, and 50% have more than that. So that would be this one. As far as the first quartile, it's the same thing as the median, except it's 25, 75. So 25 below, 75 is above. So very easy to remember. So that would be this option. If it is the third, is the other way around. So like switch them. So 75% below, 25% above. Okay. And for the interquartile range, now this is the most common mistake people make. They do not understand what it is. So let me try to draw you the situation. So this is like let's say, imagine that this is all your data, right? And then you divide it in half. This is the median, Q2. Then divide it in half again. This is the first quartile. This is the third quartile. The IQR is the difference between these two. And because this is 25% between Q1 and Q2, and there's another 25% between Q2 and Q3, the total between the quartiles is 50%. So this is the range of the middle 50% of the data. That's how we interpret the IQR. The range of the middle 50% of the data. And finally, standard deviation, which I actually forgot to compute, and that's just STDEVL. Now here I do need to round, so I can just say round, open parentheses, then let's just click on the number, paste that, a comma, and 2. So that would be 4.41. And how do we interpret that? Okay, so standard deviation measures deviation or spread of the data from the mean. Okay, so please make sure you don't choose the one that says the median, because that's not right. You are computing deviation of the data and the mean on average. And that would be this one right here.